Hello, bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature. Welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras to learn some magic and discuss books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts, Jenna.
Hi, guys.
You're not eating anything this time.
I was eating Oreos, but I actually stopped in time for our recording.
Woohoo, Marissa.
Hello.
And I'm Megan.
Hi, guys.
All right, so we're going to learn some magic today, you guys.
Yeah.
And who are we going to learn it from but the amazing main character
Mika Moon.
of the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This kind of was a fun little thing where, what was it, like episode 3 of volume 2 or something, that we suggested more books to each other because we often do that. And Marissa suggested to us the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And I hopped on it. I immediately put it in my Libby, and it took 2 months. But guess what? We both read it.
Yay!
Yay! And we loved it.
Yes. But first.
Oh, yes. Sorry, guys. But first, what are we all drinking?
I'm drinking what Marissa has been drinking for like the last 3 episodes or something, the decaf English breakfast by Twinings. So I'm just switching it up. It's now Jenna drinking this tea. Yeah. But I've been a little hooked on it, actually. I have some at my house for Marissa. Actually, I bought it for Marissa, and I think I've gone through almost the entire box, and she's probably had 1 pack of them.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been a little hooked on it lately, so that's my tea of choice today.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
How about you,
choice.
Marissa?
Megan was very kind and asked, do you want anything from the tea shop when she came over? And so I asked her for the Guava Goddess.
Is that the right one?
Yes.
Yes, I believe
Okay. Because they have the lemon guava goddess where they put lemon puree in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, do you have just a regular guava goddess? And she was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I have the summer strawberry, which is an herbal.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has hibiscus, apple pieces, and strawberry flavor.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm
Just
looking at Jenna to confirm.
I used to work there, so I know all of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's it's a nice tart strawberry one. They actually also mix that one with the lemon puree. The girls that work at the shop now are much younger, so they often suggest adding things to drinks more than they used to. The tea shop used to be a little bit more of a pure tea, and now it's they tend to add a lot of purees and additives to their drinks, and so they do that more now. Yeah, which is it's fine. It's funny because when we got the Guava Goddess, I remember when it was a new tea, and they kept trying to add things to it, and it tasted so bad with like everything except for honey or like pure sugar, and that was like the only things we could get. And then they started doing the lemonade, and I guess it was fine, obviously good enough that it sells, but that's such a good like fresh tea that I feel like it doesn't need it. But yeah, I remember one time my sister-in-law started working there, and she's the one that started like adding tons of purees to everything, and she was trying it, and she goes, oh my gosh, it tastes like throw up. And I was like, yeah, let's not add things to certain teas. Like, some teas are just fine on their own. You don't need to add a ton of stuff to it.
Right.
So, yeah. If you go in, you have to be a little bit more specific about the fact that you just want the tea and not anything else.
Because every time I go in, they're just like, what kind of sweetener would you like? And I was just like, just the tea.
Just tea.
Just the tea, please. Except if I get a milk tea or something. But yeah, so I saw on the list, like the list that they have on the wall of like, oh, try these new ones, it was a strawberry green tea with lemon.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to do green tea because I don't need caffeine, because I am waking up at 3 a.m. tomorrow to fly to Washington, D.C. tomorrow.
That'll be so exciting.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's, the Guava Goddess is a green tea too, but that's why I was here. Like, do you want anything? And literally all I could think of was caffeinated teas, and I was like, it's best if I don't.
Yeah.
If I have the chance, I'm going to end up ordering something that I'll really regret.
Right.
I figured I just woke up from a nap, so I could have a little bit of caffeine.
Well, you have tomorrow off. You don't have a
It's
kid.
true.
You don't have anything that's going to necessarily keep you up. So if you don't go to sleep at a reasonable time, you go to sleep in tomorrow.
It's true. To be honest, I would probably stay up and play Monster Hunter with your husband if he's not doing anything.
That's
Haley
probably
also
very
said
accurate.
she just signed the lease on her new place.
Ooh,
and
yay.
she was like, I think I'm going to celebrate and see if anyone wants to play Monster Hunter tonight. So she might join you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, And we need to like have a bingo of, okay, do they talk about D&D this episode? Do they talk about Monster Hunter? Do they go off topic for a good 10 minutes?
Does Megan talk about Sunrise on the Reaping? Do
or
they talk
Percy
about
Jackson?
Gail Carriger? Do they talk about Sandra Clare?
I love how you call it a bingo instead of a drinking game.
We can tell how Megan doesn't drink.
This is how Megan has fun.
Drink your tea. So is there spiked tea? Is
Yes.
hot
Yeah.
toddy? Is
Oh,
that a hot
totally.
toddy?
There's
Is
a bunch of
drinking?
Yeah.
teas.
There's a lot of
I know
actually.
nothing.
We did at the tea shop. They
Toddy
used to
isn't
do.
tea.
I thought it was black tea.
You can do either. So hot toddy, I think the very basic real one is just hot water with lemon and whiskey and honey. And but some people add a tea into it.
My mom adds a tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So depends on what time of day you want. Do you want a little caffeine with your alcohol?
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually had like a cocktail mixed tea where they specifically chose different teas that you could infuse into gins to make different cocktails, which I thought was cool.
That sounds like an Angela thing.
Yeah.
Did she come up with that?
Probably not, but it does sound like
Okay.
something she would.
All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about the very secret society of irregular witches.
I'm so surprised because usually I'm the one messing up saying something and you're correcting me like, wait, we have to talk about this first. It shows how excited you are to talk about this book that you just wanted to jump right into it.
I am very excited. I am glad that Jenna suggested we do this today.
Yes, it's fresh in my mind, still relatively fresh in Megan's mind, and Marissa remembers nothing.
There were characters. I liked the book. Well, as you guys talk about it, I'll be like, oh yeah, that happened.
Right. So this going into it, only knowing what you told us, which was the basic plot line, so it was really good. More than I ever know going into a book, so it's great. I love the name Mika Moon.
Yes.
First off, I think that is such a cute name. I think all the names were so cute. We had Terracotta, Altamira, and Rosetta.
Were the three little girls.
The three little girls. I don't remember the librarian's name. Jamie, yes.
And then Ian and Ken were the gardener and cook who
It
were
wasn't
married.
Her
And
name
Lucy was the housekeeper.
Mm-hmm. And then we had
Lillian, who was the owner of Nowhere House.
And the sort of adoptive mother of the girls, even though she was never around.
Yep. And then Primrose was the
Mika's
sort of adoptive mother of
Yeah.
Mika, who raised her.
Yeah, so there was a lot of really fun names in here.
I almost gave away the ending.
Yeah,
right
same.
there.
Never mind. But even, yes, the spoiler that you had.
Yes, that was... I can't wait to get into spoilers, but you know what's funny is that I thought, like, I was thinking about this episode, and some of our books, it's like, we talk about right away. Look, if you don't want it spoiled, just don't listen to this episode. I think that there's a lot that we can say about this book before we get into the spoiler part. Because there was a spoiler at the end, obviously. You want to know how it ends, but the whole book is just such a good story, too.
Yes.
And it has so many good points. And they have such good characters. Marissa did talk about, she goes, all I remember is that they had such good characters, right? That they were so diverse and well written. And I thought that was such a cool thing with this, was that it was really well written in the fact that each character not only was diverse, like Mika was Indian, the girls were
all
Pakistani,
over, yeah.
And
one of them was black, I
Korean?
think. I don't remember.
And yeah, I think the other was black, but she was from the London area or something. I forget exactly where they said they were all from, but I remember.
Don't look at me.
Marissa, 3
What were they,
years.
Jenna?
What were they?
I remember they were different. They came from different areas. They had different ethnicities.
I thought it was so funny, too, because... Okay, so the general premise of this book, which if you haven't listened to our other book...
other podcast episode?
episode.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to our other book that we obviously have written so well...
listen to the audiobook version.
Yes. If you haven't listened to the other podcast episode where we talk about it, the general idea with this book was that it was Mika Moon is a witch who lives in this world where witches get together in groups to talk about things, smaller groups, every third month of the year, the third Thursday of the third month of the year. And that's the only time witches actually interact with each other. Otherwise,
Congregate.
you're supposed to be completely separate, because magic gets like more prevalent when you guys are like they're around or whatever, and so it like makes them more likely to be found out. And
well, I thought, wasn't it because it was like wild and unpredictable too?
Yeah, it was kind of like
it becomes, if they're the longer they are together, the more wild and predictable it becomes.
and the more magic congregates because it's like drawn to each witch or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it wants to be used. So if it's all building up, it wants to be used or whatever.
And that's all because of a curse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a curse where the
that'll be another part of the bingo/drinking game. Every time Marissa goes,
right.
oh
yeah. There was a curse that whenever a witch is born, she becomes an orphan. So her parents die. So you're not necessarily, witches don't necessarily give birth to other witches, but they are more likely to. So a lot of witches choose not to have children, but non-witches can have children, and then the witch will become an orphan shortly after.
And I just edited the episode where we talked about Jenna being the mother, the anime mother to the savior.
The funny thing is that I've noticed more and more my son keeps asking me for an Elsa braid, and it's the mom braid.
Oh no.
And I'm like, he's setting me
Jenna.
up. If he's a witch, I'm gone.
yeah. A little bit.
Like
that's another thing in this book, is that there doesn't seem to be any male witches. The witches can have sons,
yes,
but they're not necessarily witches themselves.
Mika says at one point, because they asked, she goes, I don't know, I've never met a male witch. So like
I'm
she
hoping
left it open that they could,
Yes.
but like she's also like, I haven't met one, but you don't meet many witches, so she wouldn't know.
Very secret society is very small and secretive, so
Yeah. And that was another thing that I thought was really cool about the story, is that Liliana, who is the mother of these three girls, never was part of the society
Yes.
that Mika Moon was part of in their congregation that they met up.
Yeah.
She never showed up. She was off gallivanting the world.
I think I liked, even though like I didn't like the fact that she was,
Absent.
neglectful and absent in that sense. I did like the idea of her character of just like traveling the world, and then like coming across these kids and being like, I'll take you in.
But it wasn't just the kids. Everyone that worked for her or worked at Nowhere House, she like at a time in a life where they needed Nowhere House, she was always there.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. So it wasn't just the kids; it was even these non-magical people,
Adults
that needed her, or
needed
know,
a family in some way.
She was kind of my Professor Xavier of this book.
Yes.
Like,
she very much was.
I'm just gonna take in these people.
Yeah.
So Mika, to continue the thing, she gets kind of recruited because she decided like the only way that she could talk about her magic was to kind of pretend to be a witch online and kind of accept that like witchcore gothic, not really gothic, but kind of cottagecore gothic-y kind of feel where people are obsessed with it and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally a fake witch, I'm not doing real magic, but she's allowed to talk about her magic online in a way. And the people of Nowhere House, Ian.
Literally just talked all of their names.
I know,
you
and then
listed
I forgot
off all of their names.
For some
and
reason,
then said the wrong name.
For some reason, I was gonna say Ian, but then I think because Ian is Professor Xavier's name, isn't it?
No,
Ian,
that's Magneto.
No, it's Ian is
Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Magneto.
it is.
Charles Xavier.
Charles Xavier. Yeah. And then Ian McKellen was. And so for some
Which, by
reason,
the way,
once X-Men came in, I second guessed that Ian was actually a name in here.
Skipping ahead, that's my fan cast for this book.
Yes.
Ian McKellen is Ian.
Yes, I can see it.
Oh my gosh.
That would be great.
Oh. Yes, please. Let's make this happen. Directors, come on.
Yes.
I was gonna say too, though, I think you said Isaac because of Isaac Higgin too. Ghosts.
I do have Isaac in my head a lot from that, which is also a great show, and you should definitely watch it if you get a chance, people.
Yes.
But yeah, so they essentially ask her like, "Hey, come, witch wanted," and she was like, "I love the way like the writing of this book was just so amazing. It was so funny and quippy and quirky, and like she was saying, like." You know, when you're she's not a crazy popular like online presence, but she has some, and so she's learned enough to be like, I'm not going to pay attention to this. And she's like, opens this email, and she's like, this could be some creepy kinky thing where they're trying to like get me in here and like kidnap me away and try to get me in for sex or something. So I don't know why I even clicked on this link, but I did, and my magic gave me a nudge and was like, follow through with it. So she ended up going and talking to this person, responding to them and being like, you know, why do you need me? And they were like, well, we need you to tutor three young witches. And she's like, what? Like,
she's like, I'm not a witch. And they're like, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So I love the, like, they like do this play around or whatever. But anyway, she comes around to help these 3 young witches who are all living in this house that they shouldn't be all together in. And the magic is wild and crazy. And there's the cast of characters who are not really related to them, but still raising them.
Yeah.
A found family.
A found family, which I love.
A literal found family.
Yep.
She picked him up.
I love found families, so
Same.
I was pretty sold on it once Marissa said this was a strong found family book. But yeah, when we came into that, it was like I loved, and Mika has a past where she was obviously an orphan, so because of that, she was raised by Primrose, who is the head of the Society of the Society of Secret Witches, and not the Irregular Witches, because that's, I think, their
The little
society.
girls, yeah.
But I just love it because Primrose, I don't know why, for me, every time she talked about Primrose in the beginning, all I could think of was Dolores Umbridge.
Oh, not at all
That
for
is
me.
not
For
what
some
I
reason,
pictured.
Not
just
at
this
all
like
for me.
prim, proper, like, like not obviously the crazy,
Okay.
evil person, but like the like.
The same actress,
Yes.
but in Pride and Prejudice. Or is it Pride and Prejudice, or is she in Sense and Sensibility? She's in one of the Jane Austen retellings,
Yeah, I want to say
the
Sense
movie
and Sensibility,
versions.
but I couldn't remember.
So her same actress, I will accept that, but
Yes.
not as Umbridge, as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Jane Austen character.
But in the beginning, she is led to be kind of this idea of the bad guy because no one wants her to find out about the girls because
Right.
she'll push to separate them.
Yeah, she's kind of the, like, strict, like, mother figure, so you're kind of like, I don't know if you're actually going to be a bad guy or if you're actually just trying to help people, so
Yeah.
she's kind of that gray area for a long while. I remember that. I was going to say, I pictured her not necessarily as an actress, but do you remember in Owl House, Jenna, the plant head of the plant coven or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I pictured.
I could
her
see it like that. Yeah, older, kind of creaky, kind of witchy vibes. Whereas I kind of pictured her prim and proper and like, nope.
Yeah, I still pictured she was like very prim and proper in a lot of ways, but I definitely pictured her kind of that like old creaky lady, but prim and proper.
I have to say, like, just the little quippy moments and things throughout this book, like, lines of this book just were, like, perfect. I think you guys, like, Mika has these teas, and in the beginning she's making tea, and she goes, what kind of tea do you want? And he's like, luck, I'll do luck or whatever. Seems like I'll need it and stuff. And she's like, okay. And she's like, it's right next to when your uterus is up to its usual tricks. And I was like, yes, amazing. I love the writing of this. It's so perfect. And then, like, there is a point when Mika's talking to Primrose, and Primrose is like, I specifically told all your tutors never to tell you what to eat or drink or wear, because I believe I shouldn't have any control of what goes into your body, and that includes penises. And I just, like, laughed so hard.
And then she was like, not that I agree with some of the penises that you put in your body, but...
maybe choose a better one, a more worthy one next time. And it was just so funny and perfect. And I was like, I just imagined this proper young woman, and then she's saying that, and I was like, oh, but she still, like, has these, like, down-to-earth moments, kind of.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because she brought up Mika, like, she wasn't around Mika, because witches aren't supposed to congregate, so Mika had tutors, but the minute tutors found out that she had magic, Primrose erased their memories and, like, kicked them out and stuff like that. And it was like, oh my gosh, it's, like, a horrible way to be brought up as a kid because no one ever remembers you and you don't have any parental figures that are actually around.
I thought that was a good way of how she, like, dealt with that Mika was like, 1, nobody remembers me. 2, if they did, they would use me.
Right.
And 3, I don't want, like, everyone's lying to me. I don't want to be used.
Yeah.
And, like, that's such a huge thing for her character. So she's like, what's the point in being loved? Because...
yeah, because there's no point. Everyone's going to turn on you eventually or not remember
she
you.
can't be truthful about herself with them because they'll use her.
I also like the like parallels and the contrast in Mika and the 3 girls of like every witch has that knowledge of you're an orphan. So, like, every witch kind of has that shared, like, almost trauma within them. And so Mika had Primrose, who adopted her and raised her but was never around. And the 3 girls had Lillian, who adopted them and raised them but was never around.
Yeah.
But where Mika had these tutors that would just come and go and was never permanent, the girls had each other. They had Ian and Ken and Jamie and all of them. So they kind of had more of a sense of family than Mika did.
Yeah. I also think I have to talk about, I freaking love Terracotta. Like, there was a moment where she was a little annoying and I wanted to, like, smack her, but they handled it well. But she was just so sassy. I loved, like, when Mika finally met her and she's like, I wonder if they know they have a little psychopath in their midst. Because she dressed for a funeral the first time she met her. And she was, like, telling Jamie, that's it. Over my dead body, I'm going to have a tutor. And he's like, I don't see how you're going to handle it. She goes, all right, over her dead body.
Yep. Like, and then the whole book is about her like, well, I think I could murder her and bury her in the woods, or I'm trying to contemplate
poison or decapitation.
Like, her whole thing was she's like a little goth.
Little kid that's just going to take her out. And I was like, this little, like, crazy girl that I just loved. And then she was the one that did the whole thing at the end that was the best, that we'll get into later. And it was like, I just love Terracotta as a character, because it was that, like, there's these 3 witches, but they're not, and, like, they all ended up loving her and, like, stuff, but Terracotta didn't automatically take to her the way Altamira and Rosetta did and stuff like that. So I liked that kind of contrast too.
Wasn't Terracotta the oldest too?
She was the middle.
She was the middle?
Rosetta was the oldest.
Okay.
Rosetta was the one who kind of, like, struggled with wanting to be alone. She was lonely, and so they took her to the bookstore.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then Altamira is just young and just did her own thing.
And that was something I liked, is they all 3 had very different reactions to Mika coming in. And I remember there was, and once again, it was hard for me to remember specifics, but I remember there was, like, the youngest just didn't really understand, so was totally kind of okay with everything.
Yeah.
And then the older 2, like, one of them was really shy and one of them was just completely against it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Terracotta was like, nope, not happening. And but I loved, like, and there was that thing where, like, the first thing that Altamira said to her, which I sent you guys, because Mika unpacked her car that she called the broomstick, which I loved. It was so cute. But she's pulling all this stuff out, and she's like, she pulls out this, and an entire koi pond, and a greenhouse, and it's like, and I like sent it to you guys. I was like, she's Mary Poppins, and like, and then, like, literally the
2
next
pages,
it was like, Altamira's thing, that was some great Mary Poppins. And I was like, that's such a good, like, to come from a 6-year-old is, like, perfect. I loved it.
Yeah.
So.
I think Terracotta was my favorite, too, when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Listening to it.
Yeah, listening to it. It was funny because Marissa told us to listen to it, so you listened to it, and then you said, like, yeah, it's such a good audiobook. And I go, Megan said it's a great audiobook. And Marissa's like, what's so upset? I said it was a great audiobook.
When Jenna was all like, I think I'll get it on the audiobook because Megan said it was such a good audiobook, and I'm like, I literally only listened to the audiobook when I was recommending it to you guys. I told you how good of an audiobook it was.
So that means that I wasn't listeting at all.
When was not listening to me at all.
Went in one ear and out the other.
So Megan got all of the credit, rather than her saying, you and Megan both liked the audiobook.
It was just Megan.
No, just Megan.
I just sent in a group chat that I'm in that meme of, it's like the 2 cartoon characters where one cartoon character hands something to another character and says, I made this. And the person said, you made this. And then it shows them holding it. And then the next thing, it's, I made this. So Marissa's like, great audiobook. Megan, Jenna, great audiobook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so it was probably one of my favorite audiobooks. It was definitely up there. Maybe it might be the accent thing. I might really just enjoy listening to people with accents.
Yeah.
But she had a great Irish accent because she did a little bit of the Irish accent
Jamie
for
was
Jamie.
Irish, yeah.
And then, like, she did good voices for everyone. So often I freaking hate when women do men's voices. Oh. And she did Ken, Ian, and Jamie well. And so, like, the fact that she did 3 different men without annoying me with any of them is pretty awesome.
Something I think I liked about it and that I remember is that a lot of the time, like, some of them were very, like, wild and different, but I think a lot of it was subtle, too.
Yes.
Where it wasn't, like, first of all, it wasn't a terrible Irish accent where it was, like, super stereotypical, which it was a very subtle Irish accent change that, like, you could tell it was a different person talking, but it wasn't, like, I'm completely changing my voice for this person.
Yeah. It was like, if she had too many people talking at once, it might be complicated to understand who was who. But the way that she changed her voice each way, it made it like just enough to know that they were different. Just enough to know, oh, that's Ken. Oh, that's Ian. Oh, that's, Mm-hmm. And I think that she took on their personalities really well, too. Where Ian was like boisterous and kind of like the actor. And like it made me feel like, okay, he has that kind of personality, too. So
Jamie was gruff.
Yes.
He was broody.
But he wasn't, but she didn't do that like annoying thing where like, oh, I'm just going to be gruff and broody and like super, it was like he had just like this like straight way of saying things.
Yeah.
And it was good the way she did that. And so they also took that like grumpy and sunshine trope that I love too. So
there was something that I was able to relate to this book, that I was able to kind of the romance side of it I was able to get past, in the fact that his name was Jamie, and it could be a girl's voice, but all I could think of was The Haunting of Bly Manor. Oh. Where Jamie the gardener, even though he was a librarian, not the gardener, I was like, you know what? I'm just kind of picturing that right now. That's what I'm going for.
They all had many hats, and I did feel like Jamie did have like a good, like he felt like he could be not just the librarian, but he could also be in the garden too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved all of the little like aspects of each of them, and that they all had these very distinct personalities, but they all took care of each other too.
Yes. They were a literal family, not by blood, but by happenstance.
Yeah.
Magic, if you will. I also loved that Magic was basically a character.
Right.
Where it was like, oh, after like a big moment happened and Magic kind of did get out of hand, then it was like very subtle and quiet afterward, and she was like, and Magic feels like it's sulking and feels sorry for itself for having gotten too far, and I was just like, Magic it's okay.
It's like an extra character in there, and like Jenna said, the Magic like nudged her to go to the house and everything like that. It was kind of like her friend that was always by her side.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I got a job for you.
Yeah.
Go find a good family.
Also loved the fact that she loved Cersei, and the fact that she named all of her animals after witches.
Cersei, Medusa,
Hecate, and
there was one other,
Freya. There was another one. There's four,
Freya was there,
Koi. And it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I love this so much.
Yeah, 4 Koi and then the cat.
The dog.
Oh, the dog, right.
It was a golden retriever.
I want a golden retriever. I would probably name it, though, Hecate, because I love Hecate. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'd get a black lab, though. Because Hecate is like the goddess of the hearth and stuff, so, yeah.
My Palico in Monster Hunter, I named him Salem.
Well, that's so
perfect.
It could be a golden retriever could be all fiery like a hearth. It could be kind of an
that's true.
Retriever. Yeah.
I'd probably, if I had a boy though, I'd name it Apollo.
Yeah. Apollo is a good name for a dog.
Yeah, and also Apollo's just the goofiest.
Yes.
Was Apollo with the dog under the whispering door?
It was, I think.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Also, I will say, Under the Whispering Door and this book, not the same, but like
vibes.
Kind of undertones, like the subtle vibes.
I was just going to say, I thought the same thing. It was like, it reminded me of Under the Whispering Door, but not. And I think it's because it has to do with the found family, and it has to do with a house and a place.
Yeah, that is kind of magical. Yeah.
I think the author, I can't remember if it was the author or like somebody, one of the like publishers for the book or something like that, but somewhere the book is described as practical magic meets it was the House on the Cerulean Sea, which is very similar. And with a little bit of like Nanny McPhee or something like that.
I could see it.
And so when you guys were saying that, I was like, yeah, it is basically a DJ Clune book feel to it.
Yeah. Which is like low stakes.
Yes.
Like that's what this book
it's a
was.
Cozy read.
It's
cozy. Low stakes. I wouldn't say it was cozy. I would say it's quirky.
I could say quirky.
To me, cozy is like, I don't know, like very even lower stakes than this one. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah. I would say it was quirky because I found myself, we had silent reading night the other night, and I was doing my cross stitch as I was listening to the audiobook, and I laughed so much. And I haven't read a cozy read that I laugh that much. Yes. So that's why I would say quirky more so than...
It could be a quirky cozy. Cozy quirky.
I would also throw in Ashley Poston. It's
Yes.
very, very Ashley Poston coded as well.
Yeah, I could feel that.
This is a book I would like to live in, the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do this.
No, because in order to be a witch, you have to have your parents die. That kind of sucks.
Oh, you're right. Dang it.
And I totally forgot about this part. You're kind of being monitored to make sure that you're not exposing your magic.
Yeah, kind of. Vaguely.
But you make your own, you could make your own family. Just pick up strays. People.
Yeah, it's there's pros and cons of living in this world, I guess. If you're
true.
a witch. If you could just be a normal everyday, you could be a Jamie. Although he had his own family drama, but no witchiness.
Yeah, Jamie.
Or
Should
Ian,
we?
who was brought up by the family, or by a witch who had a witch mom.
Should we hop into some spoilers?
Yeah, we're already half an hour in, so.
That's what I was looking at the clock going, yeah, I think we should.
Okay, look, here's the deal. After this point, you're getting spoilers. If you've listened to the earlier stuff without reading this book, and it makes you want to read this book, great. But
Stop.
you're going to really enjoy it a lot more if you have already read this book, the earlier stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Because we gave away a few little things that'll come up, but not spoiled anything.
We did a great job of
did.
not spoiling anything, I think.
I think the thing with this book, without saying the spoiler of it, I think the spoiler of it, especially like the big one, was a big driving force of this book. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to get the spoiler, like if you do want to read this book, I recommend not listening, just because I think it is something that keeps you wanting to read, even though all the rest of it does make up for, like, if you do get the spoiler, still read it, because all the rest of it makes up.
It's worth it.
But it will definitely bring the book down a little
You
bit.
probably won't binge it. You'll probably just pick it up and get pieces of it.
Exactly.
Whereas if you don't know the spoiler, you'll probably binge it because you want to know what's going to happen. So yeah, exactly. Although I do have to say really quick, which isn't really a spoiler, which I felt like was something I wanted to talk about first before we got into the spoilers, in case it made people want to read it more. The author in the acknowledgments, I didn't read all of the acknowledgments, but I kind of scanned the first page of it, which is what I usually do. She had talked about she started writing this book, wanting to write a cozy read during the pandemic. And I thought that was so amazing, because that's what this book is about. It's about isolation and togetherness. And, like, she wanted that whole, like, difference between like, finding your place in your society and also, like, being apart from everyone. And I thought that was really cool that was the time that she wrote this book.
Yeah, that really shows in the themes of this book, of the isolation of it all, of the, like, hey, for everybody's safety, stay away from each other.
Right.
But still wanting to find that connection.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was cool. I want to bring that up before we talked about
Definitely.
the ending, which we can try and jump into now if you want.
All right. Let's do
I
it.
didn't see it coming.
Really?
Spoilers.
Not at all.
I called it like
Yeah, you messaged me and
I
you're
was
just
like,
like, I think
guys.
Lillian is dead. And I was just like, wow, I did not.
I was like, Lillian is Primrose's sister, and she is dead. And like,
Peony. Her name was
And
Peony.
yeah,
and
I
I
was
thought
like-
that was so cute.
Yeah.
and then I was like, because she said something about like my late sister, and I was like, Lillian, she's
Yep.
dead.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I predicted it too, honestly. I thought she was dead, one, because I don't think I think based off of the character that they built of her, like, outside of us actually getting to know her, I'm like, there's no way she would just, like, leave and not do anything to try to save these kids from whatever
Yeah.
inspector was coming or whatever it was.
the solicitor.
But
Yeah.
they
lawyer.
made this whole
lawyer.
thing where she was gonna come back because she had to come back and fix the wards anyway.
Yeah.
And they were just like, she sometimes comes like a month or two late, but that's fine. And I was just like, oh, okay. So she's just a lollygagger.
Yeah.
but
I
then
think
it
because
was-
they made it so prevalent
Yeah.
in it that I was like,
I was just going for vibes. I was just there for the vibes, so I just didn't.
You were along for the ride. You were like, I'll find out what's happening as I
Yeah.
go.
I think I have the dark mind of, like, pessimism of, like, she's dead, and then, like, the very tiny little, like, okay, what you're supposed to hope for is she's gonna come in at the very end
Yep.
and, like,
At the last moment, save the day.
exactly, you, like, want to meet her, so you really want it to be that, like, very last minute, like, oh, but I'm here and I'll fix everything.
Yeah, I wanted her to come in, like Wicked Witch of the West style, blustering on a tornado and being like, oh, I'm here. Oh, by the way, I've already done the wards. It's fine. Don't worry. And then the girls would be like, oh, yay. And then the solicitor would be like, okay, fine. Checked off.
Yeah.
But nope, she used sunflowers.
I saw it all. I was like, oh, we're talking about the wards. And Mika's like, I'm going to need a lot of witches to help me with this ward. And I'm like, and this is why they're going to break down the society, because they're going to need multiple witches to help her make these wards, because Lillian's not going to be there. And then I was like, and then Primrose was talking about stuff, and I was like, oh, she's going to be the sister. And that's why it's going to be like, they don't want her sister to know, because and that's why Lillian's not part of the society, because her and her sister had some sort of falling out. And I was like, that's why she has such a different way of raising the kids and having 3 kids together instead of like apart.
The only reason why I really thought Lillian and Primrose were sisters, first of all, I did not think Peony was a necessary addition, because I was like, lilies and primroses, huh?
Right.
I was like, flowers? Okay.
Right. Right, that's what I thought. I was like, okay,
so like
Lillian and Primrose, and then when they said Peony, and I was like, Peony, Primrose, close enough. And I was like, but also, like, maybe they had to change their names, and maybe Lillian wasn't originally Lillian, too. Like, maybe her original name was something else, and it was because they were hiding from their aunt and uncle or whatever, who was bad to them. They didn't want them to be found again. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a good twist, and I liked
Jenna's favorite part of what she said to us.
Yes. Literally, like, okay, I was having like the world's worst babysitting day when I finished this book, and I was like at my wit's end with my kid who's 2 and the kid that I was watching who's 2, and no one napped, and I needed a nap more than anything, so I got like 2 hours of sleep the night before, and I was literally like in tears because being a mom is hard. And I'm like, I just need a moment, and I go in and I go pee, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna put my headphone in and listen for a second. And I put my headphone in and listen, and I just start like cracking up in the bathroom while crying, going pee, because that's essentially mom life. But it was the best. I loved the animated corpse. I loved the Terracotta thought, oh, we could probably convince him that this is actually Lillian. It's fine. We'll put her clothes on her and get her skeleton out here. We're totally capable of doing that as a 10, 8, and 7-year-old. It's fine.
It's very Scooby-Doo coded, where they just dress Scooby-Doo up and take him on a plane, and everyone's like, how did nobody not see this? And so that's like very much a childlike thought.
Right.
We can Scooby-Doo this.
Totally.
It's totally fine. And he's just like, that's a skeleton. What is going on? And she's like, no, it's Lillian. No, we're fine.
It's Lillian. It's cool. But like the whole thing with Lillian, which, I mean, thank God it was just a skeleton, because like imagine how much creepier it would be if it was a half-decayed corpse.
Right. Yeah.
But even though she's only been dead for like 6 months, the magic, the earth takes her faster. So as a witch, she becomes bones.
I thought that was
faster,
really cool.
which is cool. But also in that way, like, shouldn't the solicitor have known? Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't go years without talking to her. So if it's just bones, he should have an idea that can't be Lillian. Wouldn't he second guess it a little bit?
Right.
I mean, I would assume, but maybe I'm just too familiar with decomposing bodies and how long it takes.
It's also that part in, you guys never watched What We Do in the Shadows?
No.
Okay, Haley Joel Osment showed up. He's the kid from...
Yeah.
Yes, makes sense.
And so he shows up and is just like this annoying kid, and then he ends up dying, and they reanimate him, so he's like a half zombie. And poor Guillermo, who's like the human, the familiar of one of the vampires, is like, do you guys not see that he's trying to eat me? Do you guys not see this? And they're just like, no, he just looks like, hey, are you doing okay? And I don't remember his name, but are you doing okay? And he's like, yes, hungry. And they're just like, yeah, he's just hungry. He's fine.
Hungry. It's cool.
He's cool. And he's just like, oh my gosh, I'm being gaslit. So that made me think of that, where I was just like, yeah.
It's fine. This is Lillian. See? She looks totally normal. Don't mind this.
I also like how Mika Moon wasn't even there for that. She got like the secondhand part of it. And they're like, and then we just locked him in the shed.
I loved
the human.
I loved that they were like, we worked together. We animated together. And she was like,
because that was the whole thing is
so well, guys. Like,
And inside, you just see her crying. One
like,
single tear. She's just like, oh, gosh.
Oh, my God.
Because that was the whole point of her teaching them was to, okay, guys, you're going to move a rock. Yeah. Now you're going to take your dolls and animate them. Now I want you guys to work together to animate this larger thing together.
And so they work together to animate a skeleton.
It's like you can't punish them because they did what you were asking them to do.
Yes.
And in the most creepy way. Were wrong, but they were.
It was not malicious compliance, but
yes,
they did what she asked.
Yeah,
in their own way.
It's like I remember Elias, Jenna's kid, when like he learned to throw things away in the trash can. It was like, yeah, you put the trash in the trash can, so he'd just start picking everything up to put it in the trash can.
Yeah,
it's like you're rewarding me with compliments. Thank you.
Yeah. I love this. I did it well. Let me show you how well I can do it. I'll continue to do it. Yes.
Or him giving us our shoes randomly.
Yes, because he brings you the shoes.
Cute. And I love how even if I wore a completely different shoe that I've never worn, he always knows whose shoe is whose.
Yep.
He's a little bit clairvoyant, I think.
Yes. Oh, very clairvoyant. It's creepy.
Because today we went to the park, and like because of all the like weird things he said before, like things that have happened, because we talked about the whole like owl thing.
Yeah.
We were at the park, and there's a bunch of geese in the park, in the other side of a fence, and he was looking at the geese. And I like to think that he meant geese, but he said, I'm looking at the ghost. And I'm like, probably meant geese. He probably meant geese. Probably wasn't a ghost.
And you're like, what does the ghost geese look like?
Could you describe this to me?
Yeah. And he's like, very tall.
Right.
Nearly headless.
Nearly headless. Jelani's took him to that park before, and there's that one tree that's kind of close to the play structure that's dead, right? And
yeah.
He walks up to it, and Jelani's like, "This is a cool tree, huh, Elias?" He goes, "This tree's not talking." And Jelani's like, "Do the other trees talk?" And he goes, "Yes." We're like, okay.
He's a
tree whisperer.
No, a druid.
A druid, yeah. Yes.
What does Angela have that she can talk to trees? Speak with plants.
Yep.
He has that.
Yep.
Oh boy.
My kid has weird little things. I need to keep track of all of these. I need to write them down so that one day my kid said.
Yeah. I haven't been around my niece and nephew when they were young enough to have those moments.
It's creepy. Yeah. There's some things, and I swear there's some things that he says that, like, none of us have taught him. And I'm like, where'd you pick that up? Was that a past life thing?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many little things. I'm like, was that a past life? Makes me question.
Elias says something, the camera pans to you, zooms in, and you're just kind of like, yeah, okay. Oh, man. Yeah. So back to the story.
Yeah, back to the book.
I also thought it was very interesting how Terracotta finally accepted Mika.
Yes.
Was that the magic did get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of glossed over what happened, but it basically shot a bolt of lightning that was aimed for Terracotta, but Mika took it instead.
Yeah, there was one that was going for each of them, and she rerouted the one going towards Terracotta and took both. And so... yeah, she took both of them, and then she, like, went into hibernation. With her little leaf, which made me think of the jasmine throne.
Yes. Oh, yeah, the jasmine throne, yeah.
I was like, oh, no. She's been infected.
She's got the rot.
She's just hibernating. I'm like, okay, it's normal? It's fine?
And, like, if Ian hadn't have been there.
Right.
To be like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's normal. We're fine. I would have been like, what?
Yeah.
I would have panicked.
Well, Jamie was like all about to call 999, and then Ian was like, no, don't. How are we going to explain what happened? And like, I just imagine that's exactly what happened with Lillian. Jamie was like, oh crap, she had a heart attack. Let's call 999. And Ian was like, look, or we could just bury her in the backyard.
That was like pure panic. Pure panic. So the thing with Lillian is she literally just dropped dead.
Yeah, she just dropped dead. And
that was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Maybe she had high cholesterol. I don't know.
You never know.
things happen, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, if it was something magical, or maybe she had a daughter.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, crap.
Dang it.
But, yeah, she just kind of dropped dead. And then...
Well, it's cozy read. If it wasn't a cozy read, someone would have murdered her, and we would have been finding out who murdered her. But
I don't know, burying someone in the backyard, a dead body in the backyard, and animating the corpse to scare off a solicitor doesn't very much read cozy to me.
it's a cozy witch read.
Yeah.
It's a little spooky, I guess. I don't think it's spooky, but
Yeah, it was great.
yeah.
But it was, yeah, it was a little anticlimactic, but I expected that. I thought she would have died on expedition, and that's
What I thought too.
I
yeah.
thought she just never came home.
Same.
That's definitely what I thought, was that she died outside of the
Yeah.
area, and that's why she never came back, and everybody was trying to be like hopeful that she will, and it's just weird that she's not.
Can we also talk about the fact that, like, her twin sister's just like, it's fine.
She
We'll just
died.
deal with it. And in a little while, we'll come up with I'll have some contacts tell us that she died outside of the country.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, hey,
Let me
Marissa,
pretend to be
if
here
you
for a
just
second.
died, I'd like
Primrose
to think
is a problem solver.
she is.
It's true.
She's like, look, it's going to be hard enough to explain the fact that she's already bones when she just died in June.
Yeah,
But
she's like, I have a problem in front of me. I know how to solve this.
I also thought Primrose's character, like, changing from when Mika was a child
Right.
to then Mika as an adult, where Mika was, like, asking these questions, and she's like, oh, I don't want to bother you with those. You're still a child. Live sort of in this weird way. Live your childhood. And then she's like, well, you should have asked me as an adult now. And it was like, So I like, it was, I would hate it in my life, but I understand it. Where then she was like, yeah, you could have asked me now. I would have told you the truth.
Yeah,
I think
You're an
also,
adult now. We're equals, basically. And I was like, what?
I think also what's interesting and what's cool in the way that the author wrote it is the change in how we see that person
Yes.
too. Because, like, when she first introduces Primrose, I don't get the warm fuzzies from her. It
Right.
seems more like this kind of
She's like, you're still doing your YouTube thing.
I'm disappointment to her. She raised me but didn't really raise me. She thinks that she's all high and mighty and in charge of us and gets to tell us what to do, even though she's not the, like, end all be all.
Right.
But, like, and she, like, hoards her spells but wants to get everyone else's spells.
Yes.
And so you kind of got this feeling that, like, this isn't really a good person. And then as you meet her, it's like slowly she warms up and she answers these questions, and slowly she, like, becomes more of a friend rather than, like, that type of person, which is what happens with parents. As you, like, become, like, parents, usually you kind of see them as, like, they're young and they're controlling me, and then as a kid they are always telling you what to do and they're disciplinarians. And then you kind of turn into a teenager and young adult and you feel like you still can't, like, make them happy, and your life choices aren't what they wanted for you, and blah blah blah. And then you settle into this as a grown adult friendship with your parents that, like, becomes more of a mutual understanding, and there's still respect, and there's still, like, your elderly, you know, they're my older generation and I still respect them, but you're able to have conversations with them that you wouldn't have as a child. I thought that was cool.
I think that speaks to how this book was written, though, as far as, like, the perspective. Because
Right.
even though it was third-person perspective, it was definitely just focused on Mika.
Right.
It was just her thoughts. There were, like, a couple sprinklings of, like, Jamie in there and stuff like that, but for the most part, it was Mika's journey.
Right.
So you got, like you said, at the beginning, you got her with her beliefs on what she was raised on and how she views people and all of that. And then as her journey continues, she starts to learn more about people, whether it's Primrose or the found family that she has, Jamie, Ian, all of them. Even her, at one point she ran into that other person from the society.
Oh yeah.
And she
Hilda?
was, yeah, Helga or something like that.
Yeah.
Who was it? I don't remember. It was a lesbian. I remember it was the one lesbian.
The
in the
one
book.
lesbian, Hilda, I think Hilda and her wife.
Yeah. And she was, like, it really, like, threw her perspective off because she's like, I've never really thought of you guys outside of the society. So
the fact that she talked about her outside of the society made her feel like, oh, you talk about me?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So I really enjoyed the fact that the perspective was a big thing in this book, having that limited perspective.
So I was going to say, the thing that I also liked is that she didn't, and they bring it up and they talk about it a lot in this, is that, like, she didn't change the world. She wasn't changing society, so suddenly witches can all congregate all the time, no matter what. Like, and when Primrose, it was found out that Primrose was Peony, and Peony was supposed to take over legal guardianship of the girls, like, she stood up to her and was like, no. And she says early on, like, she would be surprised if Lillian could stand up to her. Like, no one can stand up to Primrose, you know? And so she was like, nope, I'm going to win. I'm going to do this. And she stood up and she pushed it and she changed Primrose's mind enough that she was able to stay on and teach the girls, and Jamie was able to keep them, and they got to stay where they were. And then...
and the wards were...
Yeah, and the wards got to come back up because they had their secret society meeting, which stays, you know, the third Thursday of every third month. And they had it there, and so they all got to congregate and hang out, like, occasionally, and then do the wards and stuff, and use that big explosion of magic and stuff. But anyway, I thought that was cool, and I thought it was cool because I put together that Lillian and Primrose were sisters, but I didn't realize they were twins, which, of course, makes sense because they would have...
are gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't have one daughter and then have another daughter.
And, but...
I'm working on it.
It was cool that they were identical twins, so Primrose kind of got on board and was like, let me pretend to be Lillian. And,
that was fun.
You know, get rid of the solicitor for them. And then...
How convenient they didn't have any pictures of Lillian around for her.
Well, they did, but, like, she was, like, kind of, like, looking down and off.
You
and
never
it was like,
saw her.
She was like, oh, she doesn't like... And I thought that, too. I was like, wouldn't she have saw her and thought, like, oh, she looks like Primrose? But no, it was, like, just slightly off a little bit enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was cool. I thought they did a really good ending. I thought that it was cool that they used it to kind of change Primrose's mind a little bit, but not fully. And like, and Jamie said at one point, like, she was like, I can't change the world. I'm just one person. He goes, just change it a little bit, and then we'll be a little change, and the next generation will be another little change, and then one day someone will wake up and the world will have been changed. And I was like, I thought that was so beautiful, because that's exactly like the attitude people need to take. You don't have to, like, start a revolution and get rid of the capital.
Listen,
and
you guys.
Katniss.
Sunrise on the Reaping. Hear me out.
Hear me out.
Take a drink. Bingo. I was going to go off of what you're saying, is that even if she's not changing the world of the witches, she's changing the world for these little girls.
Right. Right.
Which for them is this small world of the house that they have, nowhere house that they're living in.
Right.
So her being able to change
just
it
bit.
drastically for them.
Right.
For them is the entire world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
they
I thought that was really fun.
be brought up completely different. So
Yeah.
I think this book had a lot of really good messages like that. And I want to bring up the quote that, it's not going to be our quote for the episode, but it was one that stuck with me. And I told Jenna I forgot it was from this book, but I remember liking it. And it wasn't, I couldn't quote it exactly, but I remembered the idea of it, and I loved it, because it was, niceness is what you do when people are looking. Kindness is what you do when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
And so I loved that, of like are you a nice person or are you a kind person? I really liked that message that they went with too.
yeah, I loved that. I loved that, like, you can be nice and you can be the type of person that will do all the right things because you're expecting to be doing the nice things, but then once people turn their back, you are not kind. You're not the type of person that's going to do the right thing when no one's looking and stuff. And it was like that really was a big message for that I thought was well written and brought to a good point, because I think too often we look at people who do nice things in public and we're like, oh, but they're such a nice person, they would never do that. And it's like, and then they turn around and can be mean-spirited people. So I thought that it was cool to have it put into words that way.
And to be optimistic about it, which is not my thing about it, but it's also that idea of like, who's inherently kind? Because you look at it and it's like, yeah, you're a nice person, you're doing that when people are looking because you want that recognition of being nice, and you feel good when you do a nice thing and people praise you for it. But do you feel good just doing the nice thing? Are you just a kind person to do it to be kind?
Right.
I was always taught if they're a nice person but they're mean to the wait staff at a restaurant, they're not a nice person.
Right. Good lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like you have to look beyond just what they do in front of everyone else and what they'll do in front of you. You know, because too often people get caught up in like seeing, oh, but you know, they're so nice to me. And it's like, but if they're not nice when you're not around, the chances are that they're not going to be, like I used to always say, like, I know that if people are comfortable saying mean things to me, they're probably going to be saying mean things about me. So I'm like, okay. And once I accepted that about people, it's like, I just accept it. It's fine, you know? And so it's like, but you have to think about it that way too. Like, be aware of what these people will say and do, not just to impress you. That's. I think it was a great message, and I love the way she put it in there.
I'm not a kind person. I only do it to get the accolades.
Yeah. Marissa's she's nice, but not kind.
Yeah. And I'm only nice sometimes.
I don't know what I am.
You're nice for recommending this book.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys read it.
Yeah. What was your guys' ratings? Marissa, what was your rating? Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I probably would put it at like a 4.5 star.
Okay.
Out of 5. Yeah.
If it was gay, would it have been a 5?
No, but
okay.
I think it was.
If the lesbian couple was more prevalent, would it have been a 5?
Oh.
If Ian and Ken were lesbians instead
No.
just kidding.
If the librarian was a girl.
No, I think just because it's a cozy read, I think it was a cozy read, so I don't think it was necessarily my go-to 5-star type book.
Yeah.
But I think it was very well written. It had really good characters. I think maybe if there was a bit more like suspense and plot in it, I probably would have bumped it up to a 5-star. But I think if we're going off of what this book is supposed to be, it's probably a 5-star read.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's 4.5.
Okay, cool. How about you, Jenna?
I give it 5 stars. I think that I loved the way it was written. I didn't have any complaints about it, even being able to guess what was going to happen. Like, I wasn't upset by that. I found it cozy with just enough plot that I wanted to get to the end of it. Our other cozy read that I think of is Legends and Lattes, and I hated that because I just didn't feel like there was any plot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm trudging through this. But for this, I there was enough plot that I wanted to know what was going to happen. The romance was cute and quirky and spicy enough for me.
Yeah, it had a bit of a spice to it.
It wasn't it wasn't so spicy that it was like, oh my god, this is a spicy book. It was just like, it had their moment, and it wasn't the and fade to black or
yeah, they had some foreplay in there.
Yeah.
Can I say that when I was recommending this book in it, and you guys had said something about like, oh, well, was it like a spicy book? And I was like, how do I say yes but no?
Yes.
So, like, I think there was a part, like, I'd have to go back and listen to the episode where you guys had asked about that, and I was, like, paused or something.
Yeah, I think we made a comment about, like, oh, well, we know there's no sex in it because it's a straight romance or something. And Marissa's was like, well, it was
last episode. I had said, oh, I read Fate into Blood, and I was like, it was too much. It was so over the top. So I'm glad to get to one that's like not in it, and you're just like, what? And I was like, what, Marissa? What?
Yeah.
Excuse you?
Yeah,
but
it wasn't like a smut book, but it wasn't completely innocent.
Yeah, it had its moments.
Yeah, it was cute, and it was fun. It wasn't one of those reads where I was like, oh, I'm here for like all the spice, but it wasn't here for like, oh, I want completely innocent book either.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. I thought it was well written. I don't think that there's anyone that I couldn't recommend this book to. Like, I think that it's one of those books that, like, if someone was like, I just want a really good, like, quick, fast read that's happy, this would be a good book that I could recommend to almost anyone that I think would enjoy it. So that's all my 5-star things. Check, check, check.
Yeah, Mom. So all those books that you're putting on your list.
I told my mom, I was like, listen to this book. It's a really good audiobook. And, like, before she used to have to drive, like, an hour to her work and back. And then they moved close, and I was like, 4 minutes. And I'm like, you should listen to this, put it on your Libby list so that you can listen to it on audio. And she's like, all my audiobooks, just like all my Libby books, get returned too quickly because I never listen to it because I'm only in the car for 4 minutes. And I'm like, you could listen to it
doing the dishes.
Yeah, other things than just driving. So
go for a walk.
Yeah,
I don't know where she lives, if she has a place that she could walk to.
I think so. I don't think it's like completely. Can't
She's
be any
in a
worse
neighborhood
than
of some
Dad's.
sort. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
So.
Not out in the boonies like you guys used to live in.
But hey, look, we took walks out there.
Yeah, we took walks out there.
You did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We used to walk up that big hill over to the school and then like come back.
Oh, yeah. Or you could walk all the way down to the lake, which was even further out
that
there.
was even further. But that was, we used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Dang.
Hike out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a hike at that point.
Yeah.
It was really good to like go out there and do it, and then you're like, oh no, I have to go back now.
Like, this is great. And you're like, oh,
there was a couple times if we did it like late enough in the day and like Mom was getting off work, we'd be like, hey, can you come pick me up at the lake?
Yeah. It was no fun coming back. I remember Jelani's thing for some reason is my calf muscles.
Yeah.
He's like really big on calf muscles, and he's always like, I hope our son gets your calf muscles. And I was like, look, I'm pretty sure I only have calf muscles from walking up that hill. It just was like, you are going to have strong calves.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways, Megan, your rating for it. We got really off topic. I'm sorry.
Our tangent.
Bingo. My rating, I gave it 5 out of 5. It was exactly what I needed, what I wanted at that time, and it did not disappoint. I laughed a lot, and it's been a hot minute since I've like laughed genuinely at a good book. I have also recommended it to my mom and a couple other people that I think would really enjoy it. So yeah. If it's one that I know I can recommend a lot.
Guys, I'm 2 for 2 now. Well, 2 for 3, but we'll...
Right. I have your... No, Jenna's book is next.
Which one?
In our
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our, what is that called? Sisterhood.
It's a fellowship.
Fellowship, yes. The Fellowship of the Traveling Books.
Yep.
Yours is last for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, technically
yours was-
mine is last, but...
Yeah, yours was first for me, so that's
Yeah.
why it goes around. Anyways.
I
Right.
definitely had something I thought I was going to say and I forgot, and I'll think of it after when we're in our next podcast.
Of course.
It's always how it's going to work.
Of course.
I don't know if you guys thought about casting for this, by the way. I know I said Ian McKellen for Ian. The only other one I thought of was Mika. Do you guys know... I know, Jenna, we watched a movie with her, but I don't know if you'd remember it. It was the movie about the Indian sisters, and the little sister wanted to be a stunt double.
Yes.
The older sister is the one I'm thinking of. But she was also in... oh, wow, now I can't remember it. That Netflix series based off the comic by Gerard, by the My Chemical Romance scene.
Umbrella Academy?
Yeah. She was in that. She was the Indian girl that was seeing the guy with the knives, that threw knives.
Oh, I don't remember.
What's her name? Jenna's looking it up for me.
Yeah, I
so
don't
thank
remember
you.
her name.
But she was my fan cast as soon as Jenna gets it to me.
I'm just obsessed. I'm just obsessed with the woman, the older sister from Bridgerton season 2, and I just want her in everything. So,
Ritu Arya, I think is the name of the actress.
She's been in a lot of things lately, actually.
Yeah, her name was Lila Pitts in the Umbrella Academy.
I don't remember.
And she was
She was part of
Lena in Polite Society was the movie that Marissa and I watched.
That's
with
it.
The two sisters.
She was part of the time traveling agency or whatever. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what she looks like.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't remember.
But that was my fan cast. That was the last thing I wanted to say about the book. Cause I remember
She'd be
that.
cute though. She'd be fun.
Yeah,
I could see it.
and she's British, so she has the accent.
Perfect.
It's good.
I don't. Yeah, I think that might be my thing for books. Is I really enjoy accents. I noticed it. I have the Calm app, which if you have Kaiser, I think Kaiser covers the Calm app ever since 2020. So you can sign up and get the app for free, which is usually like $20 or something like that. But they have little stories to help you relax and fall asleep, and they're like just very calm stories of you go on a train and you smell this and you see this, and it's just like there's no plot to it. It's a very cozy story of exploring the Swiss Alps or random things. They do also have like Beauty and the Beast or certain fairy tales or something.
Honestly, you can get that off of YouTube too.
Yeah, you could.
If you go on YouTube and you look,
But you
for,
wouldn't
like,
have any ads.
I'm just thinking about going to Disneyland, and they always have the princess story bedtime story, or princess bedtime story time thing, and it's like an actual channel.
I love it though, because it's like they have they had Matthew McConaughey reading one, so if you have a thing for Matthew McConaughey's voice, you could do that. And then they had like, I'm gonna see.
I don't.
I know, I don't either. But I was like, every time, it's funny because my son's been really into Sing, and Matthew McConaughey's one of the, and I'm just like, now every time I hear Matthew McConaughey's voice, I just imagine the little koala from Sing. But yeah, they have like actors and actresses. I think they have like Ryan Reynolds and different things, and but anytime they have like an Irish or a British one, I'm just like, oh yes, this is very calming and soothing. I enjoy this. And I mean, I watch Bluey nonstop, so I have the Australian accents all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So, with our ratings out, and we recommend it, let's hop into our... Before we hop into our quote, let's do... What are you guys reading? Let's do... Jenna, what are you reading first?
I literally just finished this book, so I don't have anything right now. I'm hoping, because I had skipped on Libby and told it to come back soon, I'm really, really hoping that I can read A River Enchanted next, but it will just depend on what comes up next.
Speaking of accents, that's all going to be Irish.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't do audiobook, but I could.
Or is it Scottish? It's either Irish or Scottish. I forgot.
Scottish is much harder to understand, but also wonderful.
It might be Scottish, actually. How about you, Marissa?
I'm continuing. I'm about halfway through Brave New World, and I really want to talk about it, but I could not recommend it to you guys because I don't think you guys would like it.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think it is a very interesting book that turns everything on its head, but Jenna for sure could not read this book because it has a lot to do with like literally the first chapter talks about conditioning babies.
Oh, that's horrible.
So it's really messed up, and it's supposed to be really messed up, but it is so good. And I really want to talk about it, but I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What about you, Megan?
I am a quarter of the way through Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, which is the third and final. So it's all out, and that's what I recommended.
Yep, that's
and
what
listen,
we
you
gotta do
guys.
Now we gotta do it.
We've done Marissa's.
Yep, let's do Megan's.
Okay, Emily Wilde's. Well, I can do that. Let me add it to my Libby because I keep thinking of it, but I wanted all three of them out before I put it on.
It'll probably be they're very, very popular. It'll probably be
I
a
know.
hot second for it before you get them.
Look, I already have a lot of them that I'm going to be waiting for a long time.
I always say this. Do you not have the Spotify Premium, Jenna?
I do, but I think it only works for the main user, which is Jelani. So I'd have to see if maybe he could change it to me because he's not listening to audiobooks. So maybe.
But I'm pretty sure it's on Spotify Premium for free. So if you do that,
well, that's good to know.
Yeah. The third one, I'm going to be honest, is a little difficult because...
A 19-week hold.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's go.
I think mine for yours was like a 20-week hold or something, but I did end up getting faster.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do skip it. But,
yeah.
It's also a very quick book. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, exactly.
I read it in like 3 or 4 days, and that's because I have a son.
Yeah.
And I just listened to it at night or when I was in the garden or we're on walks or whatever. But yeah, it was still a very quick read for me, and I got it on both Libby on the Kindle and I ordered it on audiobook.
Right.
So.
Right.
It was a good one.
Anyway, so I'm in that one. It's been a hot minute since I read the first book, 2.5 years ago, I think. So, anything at time they reference the first book, I'm just like, sure.
So what you're
happened?
saying is when we have this discussion for Emily Wilde, we have
You
to have
guys
read all
do it.
3 books because you won't
that
remember.
was the question is, are we going to do the first book and Megan's going to sit there and be like, I can't say anything because of spoilers?
So, no, we just pull a Marissa, and you guys remind me what happened.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, oh, yeah.
And then she goes, and then that happened. And then you're like, wait, what?
What? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I say something, and I'm just like, oh, maybe that was in book 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm reading that one, and I have that for my plane ride tomorrow, and I am also like 20 minutes from finishing The Grandest Game, which is the 5th book in the Inheritance games.
Oh.
I read those 3, and I haven't read the 4th and 5th one yet. Like,
Listen.
I got to the point where she was like, all right, I'm going to split this all up and make games. And that's
Yes.
it. That's as far as I got.
Basically, this one, I don't recommend only because I am doing the audiobook, and I think it needs to be a physical book read because it's Avery hosting her own games to now these random people, and it follows 3 groups as they go through these like puzzles. So when one group is like in the middle of a puzzle, it will change and go to another group who's in the middle of a different puzzle, to another group who's in the middle of a different puzzle, and trying to keep all of these characters
And puzzles.
and puzzles and what they're doing and who's doing what and how they're solving, because apparently they're all supposed to be the same puzzle. I don't know. I'm at this point, I'm just like, okay.
I'd be curious, but I'd also... I don't think I don't know if it'd be easy to read that with all these different ones, but that was one of my main critiques about the Inheritance games in general, was that I felt like for having a lot of puzzles, they were niche puzzles, where it's like
You either know it or you don't.
Right, or only the characters would know it because it has to do with their character family.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so then they'd have to spell it out to us, and I didn't feel like it was like something that I could have happened upon. So
Yeah. Anyway,
that was my
I do love the characters because she's introduced in the 4th book. She introduced a lot more characters. I do love all the characters, and I love their interactions with each other, but it's just the puzzles are so hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
But then I also have the next one, which is The Games Untold. So that's book 6. And that one is, I think, just his flashback to the boys growing up and doing, I think. Again, I don't know anything. That's how
She didn't read the back.
I didn't read the back. I just knew I wanted it. So anyway, that's what I'm reading.
Yeah.
All right, so our quote is from, spoiler alert, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. And it's not always enough to go looking for the place we belong. Sometimes we need to make that place. And I think that's a great quote.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just have to make your own home.
Yeah, it's very much a found family quote.
I loved it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, good job finding it.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, and with that, we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.